that music was so much a part of your background. Can you tell us a little about your background? I know your father was an incredible person. He passed away about 20 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. My dad was a very kind, gentle soul. His entire life was doing kindness, and a lot of stories going back to his days in Prague, where he worked to help Jews get false passports, and
Mm.
he saved hundreds, more than hundreds, people like that
This was right after the war.
after the war, getting them to
Mhm.
freedom. My parents always had an open home. It was just a home of kindness and goodness and good stuff, good stuff,
Mm.
and singing Shabbos by the table. My dad was very it was very important to him. So the whole family has a whole repertoire of songs that we sing that our father taught us. And
Beautiful.
today, the children and grandchildren and great grandchildren are singing these songs all across oceans.
Wow.
It's a beautiful gift. By the way, you want to give your children a nice gift, teach them good songs.
Wow.
Um, and
I remember reading that you once wrote that your father always wanted to give the Rebbe, when he would go to before the Rebbe, he would want to give him a smile. He would always come with a smile.
Correct. Most picture that we have of my father with the Rebbe, by dollars, wherever it was, my father's always smiling. And we once asked him about it, and he said, "The Rebbe sees enough sad faces. It's good they should see a
Mm.
smiling face once in a while too."
Wow.
He
Wow.
made it his point when he walks by the Rebbe to smile, big smile,
Amazing.
smile.
Is that what you try to do with your music, to make people smile
I
or
get,
cry?
yeah, or cry.
Or cry.
Sometimes we have to cry as well, but
What what
but the crying
what's
shouldn't be depressing. It should be a cry that brings you to something good and something joyous afterwards.
what do you prefer more? Sad music or happy music?
It's interesting. My soul connects more with soul music, meaning if you give me a good slow song where I can put my soul into it, I'll take that. But you need also fast songs, so
Right.
we'll take fast songs as well. But I think my first pull would be to give me a good heartfelt song that I can just belt out and let my soul scream. I think that would be my
What
first choice. Yeah,
that would be your first choice. Wow. Did you ever cry when you were singing?
yeah, it's happened. It's happened in the studio where even though you're sitting amongst four walls, sometimes you connect with the lyric what you're singing, and if it's a heartfelt lyric of longing or missing someone or an outcry, I've cried a few times in the studio, and there have been times where I've cried in front of the audiences at live concerts, which has happened as
Mhm.
well.
Wow, touched you deeply.
It's a time if you really connect with your lyric, what you're singing, you're praying, you're basically
Mhm.
praying.
Mhm.
Problem is when we're praying, we're sometimes not connecting. But when I'm
Right,
singing, I sometimes connect with the lyric even more than when I'm praying.
right.
So
I guess that's why we sometimes sing during our prayers, right?
that was the whole beginning of the
Right.
Hasidic movement was to pray while singing or along with it, humming a tune, because the two of them are very powerful.
Right. So you mentioned that, you at the Friedman table, there was always at the Shabbat table, there was always singing.
Yeah.
So from what I understand, your backyard was connected to the Rebbe's mother, Rebbe Tzimchana, and she would hear you singing. Could you tell us a little about that?
Yes. So we lived on President Street, 1414 President Street. The next building over, it was one building, but it had two entrances. 1418 was where the Rebbetzin lived. And I was 4 or 5 years old at the time. I don't remember much, but I do have a memory that she once gave me a quarter. We're standing outside the building, and my mom would take me to sing for her sometimes. I had the great merit to sing for her,
Wow.
and she was my first fan, I guess you could say, my first fan. And
Mm.
as a token of appreciation, she gave me a 25-cent coin. And being a little boy, I ran to the toy store and bought a toy. And
Right.
bought a toy. I don't have the toy or the coin at this
Right.
stage. But
Wow, special.
I was told that she very much enjoyed hearing the Zmiro, the songs coming from Apartment 3D
Mhm.
from the Fried family. And I once heard in the name of Rabbi Weinberg, one of the elder Hasidim, the Rebbe Tzimchana, the Rebbe's mother, once told him that from that window comes forth beautiful songs, And there's a little boy there, Avraham, who sings, and I don't know the exact quote, but the gist of it was that he's going to sing for Klal Yisrael one day.
Wow. Incredible.
So it's not
So
my doing. I told the Rebbe it's bracha.
wow. Wow.
People
That's
ask me,
beautiful.
people that ever sing for the Rebbe. My initial reaction, nope, I never sang by Farbrengen or by Black Bomer Parade. Never sang for the Rebbe. But then I remembered that I did sing for the Rebbe. We knew exactly every day when he would come to visit his mom. And I would stand outside at that moment, and I would sing maybe a Faratzta or whatever it was. The Rebbe would make with his hand to me. And so I did sing for the Rebbe, but I was a
What,
little,
you were singing outside of her apartment, you're saying?
as he was passing by
As he was
1414 to get
passing
to
by.
1418, he had to pass
Okay.
by our building.
Right.
So I would stand outside and sing, and he would encourage the singing. So I did sing for the Rebbe, but I was a little boy at the time.
And what about the Rebbe's wife? Did you ever sing for her?
No,
No.
no, but
No.
I was told by her chauffeur, by her driver, that while in the car, he would play for her some of my cassettes.
Hmm.
And one particular song that she liked was the song called Tatenu, a song in Yiddish that I wrote the lyrics for to an old Chabad tune, which describes the longing of a one and only son looking to connect with his father.
Hmm.
And that song she liked. But in live, in person, I never sang for her.
Hmm. Wow. Incredible.
Yeah.
So what were you like as a little boy? Are you more of an extrovert, more of an introvert? Do you remember yourself as a child?
Clearly an introvert, as but probably most performers are. That,
Interesting.
that's how they deal with it. Most comedians are probably very depressed people. You know how it goes. The clown is the saddest person in the room is the clown, right?
Right. It's funny though, because most people don't think of people up there as even lecturers. I mean, I know people think of me all the time as an extrovert. I'm the biggest introvert, and
There you go. There you go.
so how do you reconcile that introversion with getting up there on the stage in front of so many people? Is there two personas, the you and then the public you, the one that's performing in front of the crowd?
Honestly, I don't know how I got past that. I don't know how we introverts,
Hmm.
shy people get past. I guess it's like telling the person who doesn't like to fly, get on a plane and
Hmm.
get used to it.
Hmm.
But to make that first step, I don't know how I did it. To this day, before going on stage, I say, this is me going on stage in
Right.
front of thousands of people to get out there and be so scrutinized and watched and listened to.
Right.
But so I don't know how I got past that initial leap.
Hmm.
But I don't think it's too. I'm not. I'm not. It's not a double. It's in my soul. I guess I was singing as a kid, so
Right.
just continuing, try to get past the shyness, and
Mhm.
I guess at a certain point, you're not. You're excited. You're not shy.
Mhm.
You're not as shy, but you just want to deliver. You just want to deliver. I think we have a bigger desire to deliver the goods since we feel we're not capable or we're not worthy
Mhm.
of it.
Mhm.
So it makes you work harder, it makes you dig in a little deeper. And
So
the
I
res-
guess you're not focusing on yourself, you're just focusing on the message that you're giving. Is that
correct,
it?
correct.
Yeah.
And the results are
Yeah.
usually good. The results are
Yeah.
usually good.
Well, must be. You're on the top for so many years, so I guess so.
Thank God.
Right.
Thank you. I got to keep climbing. Can't stop.
Alright.
Can't stop.
Now, that's another thing that I noticed about you. You're very much into, first of all, thanking God for what you've been given, not attributing it to yourself, and also always wanting to do more, to achieve more, to accomplish more, not feeling like you've arrived, I guess. What makes you like that?
Some 30 plus years ago, I went by for dollars by the Rebbe, and I told that I had a gig that night. It was a job, and the Rebbe gave me $1 and said, "This you'll give to charity before you sing." Then he gave me another dollar and said, "This you'll give to charity after you sing as a thank
Yeah.
you to God that it was that it was successful."
Hmm.
So I travel with a
Mm.
little charity
Wow.
box.
Wow.
For the last 30 plus years, when the pushka gets full, I give it to a charity. And the Rebbe taught me a very simple message. When you have success, just say thank God.
Mhm.
Don't take any credit for it. Yes, work hard, invest, and do your homework. But at the end of the day, when you have success, don't forget, don't forget to thank the one above. So that's been my guide ever since. Every success. Back in the day, when I would get a phone call, I'd get a booking, I get a job, I would put $1 in the pushka just for the booking, even
Mm.
before the show. I should get back to doing that. That kind of slipped away. But
Wow.
can't take anything for granted, especially after this in the market today. There are so many talented individuals, and you can think, oh, after 40 plus years, okay, people have heard enough of you. They want to move on. But thank God the phone is ringing.
Mm.
I'm as busy as ever. By the way, I just came back yesterday. Um, I was in Israel for 48 hours.
Mm.
But the last step, my last visit, my last stop before going to the airport was at an army base. And two of the most amazing benefits of being a singer is when you have an opportunity to sing for someone who's not well, God forbid, we should all be well, to make a sick person feel good for a little bit. That's a great, great merit. That's a great zchut. It's an unbelievable privilege to bring some joy to a person who's suffering.